The appointment is written in the book like any other point 2:30 p.m. B47180. Standard cut. Leon Pierce runs his finger down the page. Monday appointments. 7 inmates scheduled. Thompson at 9 a.m. Rodriguez at 10. Williams at 11:30. A gap for lunch. Then Jefferson at 1:30. Chen at 2 o'clock. And at 2:30, inmate B47180. Leon didn't write the name. The administration uses numbers in the appointment book. More efficient, less personal, easier to process. Just numbers and times and the type of service. Standard cut. Fade. Trim. Line up. Simple codes for simple services that he didn't know who B47180 was until this morning. Didn't think about it. Another inmate. Another appointment. Another 30 minutes of clipper work in an 11-year career of clipper work. Nothing unusual. Then Jackson, one of the guards, stopped by during breakfast rounds. "You got Tyson at 2:30, Jackson said. Not asking. Stating. "Thought you should know." Leon looked at the book. At B47180. "Mike Tyson." "Yeah. First haircut since intake. Figured you'd want a heads up." Jackson walked away. Left Leon standing there looking at numbers that suddenly meant something different. B47180. Just an inmate number. Just a time slot. Just a standard cut. Except it's not. Now it's 2:28 p.m. Leon is in his barbershop. The room is ready. Clippers charged. Scissors sharpened. Chair wiped down. Towels folded. Everything the same as always. Everything in its place. But Leon's hands are doing something they've never done. They're shaking that he looks at them. His own hands. Familiar as his face. Hands that have been steady for 11 years. Through difficult inmates. Through men who twitched. Who threatened. Who tested. Through all of it, his hands stayed steady. Professional hands. Barber hands. Hands that know their job and do it regardless of who's in the chair. But they're shaking now. The door opens. A guard steps in. Then Mike Tyson. Shorter than Leon expected. More compact. Prison blues. Number on the chest. Just another inmate in a facility full of inmates. But not just another inmate. The guard steps back out. The door closes. The lock clicks. And Leon realizes he's alone in a small room with Mike Tyson and his shaking hands and no good explanation for why this feels different from every other haircut in 11 years. Tyson walks to the chair. Sits. Says nothing. Just waits. Leon has a routine. 30 years of barbering. 11 years in prison. The routine keeps things simple. Professional. Safe that he picks up the cape. Approaches the chair. His hands are still shaking, but maybe if he just starts, if he just follows the routine, muscle memory will take over. We'll calm him down. We'll make this normal that he drapes the cape over Tyson's shoulders. Fastens it at the neck. His fingers fumble with the snap. Takes 3 tries. Tyson doesn't move. Doesn't acknowledge. Just sits there with that unnatural stillness. Like a statue. Like something carved rather than born. Leon steps back. Picks up the clippers. They feel heavier than usual. Foreign. His grip is wrong. Sweaty. He adjusts. Tries to steady himself. This is ridiculous. This is just hair. Just a haircut. Leon has done this 2,000 times. With men far more dangerous than Mike Tyson. With actual killers. Gang enforcers. Men who've hurt people in ways that earned them decades in cages. But none of them made his hand shake that he approaches. Raises the clippers. The buzzing fills the small room. Familiar sound. Comfort sound. 11 years of this sound, making things normal. Making things routine. But his hand won't steady. The clippers waver. Get close to Tyson's head. Within inches. Then his grip fails, the clippers slip. Fall. Hit the concrete floor with a sharp metallic clatter that echoes off the walls. The sound cuts through the buzzing silence like a judgment. Leon freezes. Stares at the clippers on the floor. At his empty hands. At the evidence of his incompetence lying between his feet and the chair. Sorry, he manages. Voice tight. Sorry, I don't. He bends down. Picks up the clippers. Wipes them with a towel. His hands are shaking worse now. Visible tremor. Not subtle. Not something he can hide or explain away as fatigue or grip adjustment. That he's afraid, that doesn't want to name it. Doesn't want to acknowledge it. but his body knows. His body is screaming at him. Every instinct he has is telling him something his professional pride doesn't want to hear. This man is different. Leon takes a breath, steadies himself. This is absurd. Tyson hasn't done anything, hasn't spoken, hasn't moved, just sitting there, patient, waiting. No threat, no aggression, nothing but stillness. But that stillness is the problem, because it's not relaxed, not casual. It's controlled, chosen. The stillness of something coiled, something that could move, but has decided not to. And that decision, that visible restraint, is somehow more frightening than any threat could be. Leon raises the clippers again, approaches, gets close. The buzzing resumes. His hand shakes. The clippers tilt, waver. And for the second time in 30 years of cutting hair, Leon loses his grip. They hit the floor again. Louder this time. More final. Leon stands there, staring at them, at his failure on the concrete floor. His breath is coming fast now, shallow. His heart is doing something it shouldn't. Racing, pounding. He can feel it in his chest, in his throat, in his fingertips. This has never happened. In 11 years of prison work, 2,000 inmates, men who scare guards, men who ran cell blocks, men with reputations that preceded them through the facility like warning signs. Never, not once did he look up, at the mirror, at Mike Tyson's reflection sitting calmly in the chair, and at his own reflection behind him. A 52-year-old barber whose hands won't obey him, whose body has staged a rebellion against his professional identity. "I'm sorry," Leon says, to Tyson, to himself, to the room. "I don't know what's wrong with me." Tyson's eyes shift. First time he's moved. Just his eyes, finding Leon's in the mirror, making contact. And something in that contact, in the directness of it, in the weight behind it, makes Leon understand this isn't in his head. This isn't irrational. His body is responding to something real, something most people never encounter, something that exists outside normal categories of threat and safety. Leon bends down, picks up the clippers. Third time. His hands are shaking so badly he almost drops them again just from the act of lifting them. He looks at the clippers, at his trembling hands, at 11 years of competence reduced to this, to being unable to perform the simplest task, to complete professional failure in front of an audience of one. "I can't," Leon says quietly, not to Tyson, just stating a fact. "I'm sorry. I can't do this." For the first time since entering the room, Mike Tyson speaks. "You did Thompson's hair." Not a question, a statement. Voice quiet, surprisingly soft. No edge, no threat, just observation. Leon nods. "Can't speak. Throat too tight." "Thompson killed 3 people with a hammer," Tyson continues. Same quiet tone. "You did his hair last week. Your hands didn't shake." Leon finds his voice. "No, Williams. He's in for what he did to a family. Children. You cut his hair 2 weeks ago." "Yes." Your hands were steady. Leon doesn't respond. Because it's true. Thompson, Williams, Rodriguez, Chun, all of them. Men who'd done terrible things. Men whose crimes were documented in files that Leon had never read, but everyone knew about anyway. Prison has no secrets. Everyone knows what everyone did. And Leon had cut all their hair without hesitation. Without fear, without his hands shaking. "I haven't hurt anyone in here," Tyson says. Still quiet, still no edge, just stating facts. "Haven't threatened anyone. Haven't done anything except sit in a cell and follow rules. Been here 3 days. Perfect behavior." Leon knows this is true. He heard it from Jackson, heard it from other guards. Tyson's been a model inmate. Quiet, compliant, no trouble, no problems. But none of that matters to Leon's hands. Tyson shifts slightly in the chair. Not much, just enough to angle his head so he can look at Leon directly instead of through the mirror. His eyes are steady, calm, not angry, not offended, just curious. "You know why your hands shake?" Tyson asks. Leon shakes his head. "Because Thompson and Williams and all the rest, they did terrible things. But those things are in the past. Done. Finished. You can separate them from it. You can see them as men who did something versus men who are something. You understand? Leon nods slowly. Because he does understand. That separation between the man and his crimes is exactly what's allowed him to work in prison for 11 years. To see inmates as human beings who made terrible choices rather than as the sum of their worst moments. But with me, Tyson continues, voice still quiet, still without edge. You can't do that separation. Because what I am isn't in the past. It's not something I did. It's something I am. Right now. Always. It's not a choice I made. It's what I became. And your body knows that. Your hands know that. They're telling you something your mind doesn't want to hear. What are they telling me? Leon's voice is barely a whisper. Tyson holds his gaze for a long moment. Then, that some people carry violence. And some people are violence. And you've never been this close to the second kind before. The words hang in the air. Not a threat. Not a boast. Just truth. Spoken quietly in a small prison barbershop by a man who understands himself better than most people ever will. Leon stands there. Clippers in his shaking hands. Facing something he doesn't have tools for. 11 years of experience rendered useless. All his professional separation, all his ability to see inmates as just people who need haircuts, completely inadequate for this moment. I'm not going to hurt you, Tyson says. Not going to do anything. You're safe. Your body doesn't believe that. But it's true. I know, Leon manages. And he does know. Rationally. Intellectually. But knowledge doesn't stop the shaking. Doesn't override the instinct. Doesn't change what his body is screaming at him. Tyson reaches up. Unfastens the cape himself. Lets it fall. Stands. The movement is smooth. Controlled. No aggression. No threat. Just a man standing up from a chair. Tell them I wouldn't sit still, Tyson says. Tell them I was difficult. Whatever you need to say. I'll back it up if anyone asks. Leon stares at him. At this offer. This kindness. This man whose presence made a professional with 11 years of experience unable to function. Offering to lie to protect that professional's reputation. Why? Leon asks. Tyson looks at him. Really looks. And for just a moment, Leon sees something in those eyes that isn't the weapon, isn't the violence. Just a man who's tired, who's carried something heavy for so long he can't remember what it feels like to put it down. Because I know what I am, Tyson says quietly, and I know what that does to people, and I'm sorry you had to feel it. He walks to the door, knocks. The guard opens it. Tyson steps out. The door closes. The lock clicks. And Leon is alone in his barber shop with his shaking hands and the clippers on the floor and a cape draped over an empty chair. He stands there for a long time. Not moving, not thinking, just breathing, trying to process what just happened. Trying to reconcile the terror his body felt with the kindness Tyson showed. Trying to understand how both things can be true at the same time. Later, Jackson stops by. Asks how it went. He wouldn't sit still, Leon says. The lie Tyson gave him. Kept moving. Couldn't get a good cut. Had to let him go. Jackson nods. Accepts it. Writes something in his logbook. Difficult client. Happens. You want me to reschedule him with someone else? No, Leon says. Surprising himself. No, I'll take him. Next week. Same time. Jackson looks surprised. You sure? Leon isn't sure. Isn't sure of anything. But he nods anyway, because here's what he learned in that room. What Mike Tyson taught him without meaning to. What 11 years of prison barbering never showed him. There are men who do terrible things. And there are men who are terrible things. And the second kind are rarer than anyone wants to believe. And when you meet them, your body knows. Your instincts know. Every part of you that evolved to survive knows. But knowing what someone is doesn't tell you who they are. Thompson killed 3 people. Did it without hesitation. Without remorse. His file says he laughed when they arrested him. Mike Tyson made Leon's hands shake without trying. Made 11 years of professional calm evaporate in minutes. Represented something Leon's body recognized as existential threat. But Thompson never offered to protect Leon's reputation. Never showed kindness. Never apologized for what he was. And Tyson did all 3. A week later, the appointment book shows another entry, .2:30 p.m. B47180. Standard cut. Leon's hands still shake when Tyson walks in. Still tremble when he picks up the clippers. His body still screams warnings. Still recognizes what's sitting in that chair. But this time, Leon doesn't drop the clippers. This time, he takes a breath, steadies himself, and begins the cut. Not because he's not afraid, but because he understands now that fear isn't always wrong. That sometimes the thing that terrifies you is also the thing that teaches you. That some people carry darkness, and some people are darkness, and occasionally, rarely, those same people also carry light. Tyson sits perfectly still, patient, waiting, the stillness of something coiled that has chosen not to spring. And Leon works carefully, professionally. His hands shake the entire 30 minutes. Never stop shaking. But he completes the cut. When it's finished, Tyson looks at himself in the mirror. Nods once. Stands. Thank you. He says quietly 0.6 words. That's all. But Leon hears what's underneath them. Hears the gratitude that someone pushed through their fear. That someone saw what he was and chose to treat him like what he wanted to be. Human. Just human. Deserving of a haircut like anyone else. Tyson walks to the door. Knocks. The guard lets him out. And Leon adds another entry to his mental record. 11 years. 2001 inmates. One who taught him the difference between danger and cruelty. One who showed him that the most terrifying person he'd ever met could also be the kindest. He cleans his station. Wipes down the chair. Prepares for the next appointment. His hands are still shaking. Will probably shake next week too. And the week after that. May always shake when B47180 sits in his chair. But that's okay. Because some fear is appropriate. Some awareness is healthy. Some reactions are your body telling you the truth. And sometimes the truth is complicated. Sometimes the dangerous thing is also the hurt thing. Sometimes the person who makes you afraid is also the person who shows you grace. Leon learned that in 30 minutes with Mike Tyson. Learned it with shaking hands in a small barbershop in a prison in Indiana. Learned it from a man who understood exactly what he was and carried it with more awareness and kindness than most people carry their gentleness. That's the story no one tells. That's the truth that doesn't make headlines. That's the 6 words that change how Leon understood danger and humanity and the space between. Thank you, Mike Tyson said quietly. And Leon understood that sometimes thank you is enough. Sometimes gratitude for being treated human when you know what you are is the greatest kindness you can offer back. That's what happened in a prison barbershop on a Monday afternoon. Not violence. Not threat. Not the story people expect. Just 2 men in a small room. One who couldn't stop his hands from shaking. One who understood why and didn't take offense. In 30 minutes that taught a barber with 11 years of experience that he still had things to learn about fear and grace and what it means to be dangerous and choose kindness anyway. The appointment book closes. Another Monday complete. Another week beginning. And somewhere in that prison, Mike Tyson has a fresh haircut and the knowledge that someone pushed through their fear to give it to him. Someone saw what he was and treated him like what he wanted to be. That's all any of us want, really. To be seen completely. And chosen anyway. Even the dangerous ones. Especially the dangerous ones. Because they know better than anyone what it costs to be chosen.